Howdy folks, how's it going? Gabriel here. I am on a little island in the Caribbean, just off the coast of Belize, part of Belize, called Calker Island, or Key Calker. Key means island. Here, I'll give a little scan of this awesome scene here. Some pretty waters here, as you can see. I'm going to jump in them as soon as I'm done with this video. Alright, so I've been traveling around for the past about 5 weeks or so. I was in Mexico for a month and then came over here to Belize. I'm going to tell two stories in this video that will illustrate very clearly the title of Don't Ever Allow Yourself to Be Without Cash While Traveling. So this was just from a couple of days ago. I was in Chetumal, Mexico, on the Yucatan Peninsula, waiting to get a boat to come over here to Belize. I ended up staying there for a few days. And so the night before I was planning to leave the next day, then I'm in my hotel room in Chetumal. So I'm in my hotel room. It's about midnight. I'm just thinking of shutting down the internet and turning off my computer and going to sleep so I can get a decent rest before taking the boat over here to Belize. And I get a message from my friend Christine, which some of you might remember. I traveled with her and her 14-year-old daughter on the Yucatan Peninsula for a week, just about a week previous to that. And so I get this message from her saying that she is freaking out because she has a flight the next morning out of Costa Rica. They'd flown from Cancun, Mexico to Costa Rica and were there for about a week, and then were flying to Australia. She'd went to this festival at the end of her week's stay in Costa Rica. And she was in this horrible predicament because she had run out of cash. She just had used up the cash that she had on her. She then lost her bank card, and so she'd been trying all day to come up with some cash somehow. It was now midnight. Her flight was at 8 o'clock the next morning, or she needed to be there at 8 in the morning. She was 2.5 hours away from San Jose, Costa Rica, where the airport is, in a small town. And so she needed to get a taxi to the airport, and then she would work things out there, but she just needed the money for a taxi. And so I won't tell the whole story because it's kind of a complicated one. So it was seeming like an almost impossible situation. I did some research online, managed to find a taxi service in which they couldn't actually come there and pick her up, but they said that they knew somebody else in the area who probably could, and so I referred her to that website so that she could check it out. Basically how things ended up turning out was she sent a message through Facebook to a friend of hers at the festival, and then that guy was like, you know, drunk and having a good time, but he happened to check his messages, got her message, went to her cabin and gave her the money for the taxi, and so she was able to catch a taxi at like 4 in the morning and get to the airport. Things worked out, she caught her flight, etc. So that is one great example of why you never allow yourself to deplete all of your cash on hand. For one thing, it's a good idea to go to the ATM or wherever you're going to get your money from before you run out of all your cash. Don't wait until you're completely broke and then you're dependent on the bank better be open, the ATM machine better be working, or whatever. Don't wait until you're in a total situation where if things don't work out as planned for that day, then you have nothing on you. And then also, in addition to that, then I highly recommend having some cash on hand, such as $100 US or something, that you have tucked away somewhere in your stuff that you're actually not planning to use, but you just leave it there for those types of emergency situations specifically, so that you don't fall into that same kind of a situation. Alright, I changed locations because some people showed up and started swimming right near me where I was over there, so I found a different pier. Here's the scene from here. Alright, so I'm going to tell another story that will illustrate things here, and also illustrate something else that needs to be kept in mind while traveling. So the next morning, after, fortunately, I had gotten an email from Christine from the airport in San Jose saying that everything had worked out, so I could let go of worrying about that. So I get all packed up, leave my room there in Chetumal, and head over to the ferry terminal to catch the boat heading to Belize. However, first I have to go through Mexican immigration, and then I will go through Belize immigration after the boat ride once arriving at the island that I was heading to. So I wait in the line and end up in the immigration office and give them my passport and my little ticket stub thing that I'd gotten when entering Mexico. So the thing is that I'd heard that part of the deal with visiting Mexico with an American passport, it depends somewhat on which country your passport is from, but the deal with Mexico was you get 180 days staying in the country. There is a small fee of $20-something that you have to pay. So when I'd come into Mexico, then they hadn't charged me a fee of any kind. I even asked the lady upon giving my passport back to me in Cancun, because she didn't ask for a fee. I was like, so there's no fee? And she said no. So I forgot about it. I get to Mexican immigration leaving, and they say, do you have a receipt for your fee? I said, no, I didn't pay it. They never asked me to. And they say, well, okay, you're going to have to pay it then. So the only money that I had on me at that time was $80 Belize. And they said they were going to charge me $60 Belize, which is $30 US, to pay that fee. So it was very lucky that I had something on me. If I hadn't, then I would have been in a real fix of having to go find an ATM machine, withdraw cash, and then have to pay the ATM fee just for a little bit of money or whatever. And that might have been impossible if I'd been a little bit later. I had some spare time, but if I hadn't, then that would have really screwed up my plans for the day. So fortunately, I had $80 Belize. That left me with $20 Belize, which is $10 US after they had taken the $60. I take the boat out to the island that I was going to, Ambergris Key, another island near where I am right now. And then I get there and I'm going into the immigration there, waiting in line, and I see a sign that says there is an entry fee to go into Belize. Fortunately, it is only $1.25 US, which was $2.50 Belize. So I had $20 Belize left, and so I had enough to cover that fee. So both of those fees were unexpected to me, but fortunately I did have some money on me, just barely enough. I should have had even a little bit more. So the point is, be prepared for unexpected fees, unexpected circumstances. You never know what's going to come up. Just that simple act of taking out some extra cash and tucking it away somewhere can really save you a hell of a lot of hassle. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.